What's up, guys? This is Emil, also known as Kitties. If you ever face me in an event, that's who I am. I'm coming at you here today with a tier list, but this tier list might be a little bit different because instead of being a constructed tier list, it's gonna be a tier list all about how cards are in sealed. And I'm hoping it'll be a little bit helpful. Um, with PreRift starting tomorrow or today, depending on when I get this, out. But yeah, I hope you enjoy and forgive me for any technical difficulties. And you may or may not hear my dog at times chewing on something or clip clopping around. But yeah, let's get started. So I'm gonna go color by color first. I have to remember to be careful not to like move this. Yeah, noob shit. But yeah, okay. So I'm gonna go color by color, and then at the end I'll do like Battlefield Legends signature spells. That should be pretty straightforward though. So the first card's actually kind of interesting. It's Arena Kingpin. Um, This is a card. It's a 5 energy, 3 might unit. It says I enter ready, and then you can tap it to give a unit plus 3 might this turn. Um, and that card's not a powerhouse. Like, would you pay 5 might for a spell that said, give a unit plus 3, make a 3/3? Obviously, this is repeatable, but you're gonna want to be moving this guy. I guess he's decent in holding scenarios when you just want to leave him there and keep tapping him for the plus 3. But I don't know. It's a 3 might body, so it's just not gonna do that much. But I don't think it's horrible. And I also feel like this is a kind of card that like could be deceptively useful. I mean, it's a 5 energy, 3 might. It comes in ready, so you can also use it, just to like score a quick point or get that double conquer. So I think as of now, and this might change, but I think I'm gonna put it in playable because yeah, 5 energy, 3 might comes in ready, no recycle cost, has like an upside thing. It's a little overcosted. Like if this was 4 might, it would probably be good-ish. Like maybe I'm gonna need to create a new row that's like good-ish, somewhere between like playable and like good, but we'll see. The next card is Inferna. I think Inferna is just a straight up good card. This is a 2 might. It's a really good card. It's not quite like a must play. It's not like you see this card and you're like, oh, I need to go into red. But 2 mana, 1 might. Underwhelming. But Ambush, which is huge. You can play it defensively, though you're probably gonna want to play it offensively since it has Assault 2. And so 2 mana for plus 3 might, with a body that sticks around. That's pretty good value. I think that's good. Sealed is kind of a tempo thing in this, so having that like combat trick of the plus 3 for 2 is, yeah, it's definitely good. Mischievous Mirai. So this is a 2 energy, 2 might unit, which has hidden, and it says when you play me to a battlefield, deal 2 to an enemy unit here. This is like playable only because it's a 2 drop. If this was like if this didn't have the modality of being sometimes a just like a 2 energy 2/2, like, I mean, I might put this in play if necessary because I'll have to look at the end, but there's got to be better 2 drops than that. Like the modal, like being able to deal 2 damage to something from hidden at the cost of recycling a rune, just not very good. It's not horrible, but it's not very good. Then we have Prepared Neophyte, and it says if you spent 4, it's a 3 energy, 1 might. If you spent 4 or more to play a spell this turn, I have +4. And I think this is going to be our first This Is Bad card. Um, this is yeah, this card is like obviously very understated and uh yeah, like I know there's a lot of Formite stuff in this set, but I'm Formite 4 cost stuff because of Jin, but I don't know. This card just seems not good. The Your pool is gonna have some Formite spell stuff, but yeah, it just doesn't seem. I mean, at best it's a 5 might unit, which isn't bad, but most of the time it's gonna be a 3 energy 1 might, and that's kind of terrible. Um, this card is similar, but it's a little bit better. It's a 7 energy recycle a red for 7 might unit, which is a little bit understated from what we've seen. Like you have the mech from Origins. That's a 7 energy 0 recycle 8 might unit. But this has ganking, which is very relevant and limited formats in Riftbound from what I've seen, because it can be hard to find ways to get back in the game, and being able to gank over is pretty huge. And then you have when you play a spell, if you spend 4 or more, ready me. It's important to note that your spell does have to resolve on this one, I believe, relative to the Neophyte, where it's just about spending 4 or more to play a spell. Like, you actually have to play a spell successfully. You get to ready it. But that's not terrible. I think that card is playable. I don't think it's great, but it's like, hey, if you're missing some, late game big guys, I mean, I think it's honestly on the borderline maybe of being good. I'm not sure. But it's playable for sure. Then you have Sharkling, which is kind of similar to Neophyte in that it's a 3 energy 1 might. The difference is that instead of having to spin 4 to get +4, it just has Assault 4. And it has Assault 4, and you can pay the Accelerate. So it's a 4 energy recycle 1 5 might unit. That's not bad. And you have the modality of being able to just, you know, play it to develop if you're not in a rush and you don't want to go down on stuff. Um, then you have Smite, which is an interesting card. So I come from more of a Magic limited background, and I'd look at this card and I'd be like, okay, this is effectively, adjusting for mana. This is like a 1 mana or one, because it's 2 energy and you get 2 energy a turn versus Magic with 1 land. But it's 2 energy recycle 1 for an action. It says deal 3 unit to a battlefield. If it would die this turn, banish it instead. And so that sounds like your classic red removal in Magic. However, recycling, not the best. Like, you're not typically playing a tempo game, but I don't know. Like, we'll have to see how this format shakes out. But being able to kill something like that can be potentially pretty useful. We've already seen that there's some like low might stuff. So right now I'm gonna put it in playable, but I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Sorry I was off center for a while. We're gonna put it at the top of playable because the Magic player in me can't look at that and be like, that's not good. But I'm also hesitant to say that it's straight up good. Also, the Sharkling may be straight up good. Um, it may be straight up good. I'm not sure. Uh, Again, like, these are at the top of playable. Um, then we have Towering Pyrophant. So this is a 6 energy 6 might unit with Assault 1, which is, kind of random. But if a unit died this turn, I enter ready. Um, I think that's pretty good. I think that might be good. Again, like, I feel like I'm putting a lot of things in the top of playable, and then I'll come back to them later, and I don't know, that feels, maybe I'm being a little harsh on cards as of now. Like, maybe this card should be in play if necessary. Like, the 5 energy 3. I'm gonna move it to play if necessary. I forget what is this card that I put here. Oh yeah, the 2 drop. Yeah. I feel like that's the definition of a play if necessary, because it's kind of like, yeah, if I'm lacking in 2s, like I'll play that because I just want access to some turn 1 plays. But it's pretty low on the list of 2s. Then you have Upstage Comedy. It's hard to evaluate how good this is for me in a limited format. I'm gonna put it. I guess I'll put it in playable. So this is a 2 energy repeat for 2, ready a unit like that. That's useful. I'm just not sure how much value you get out of it a lot of times. Like if you're, it really depends on what kind of deck you're playing. So playable is kind of like for decent cards and also like synergy dependent cards where you wouldn't just look at it and be like, okay, yeah, I'm building that kind of deck. Vault Breaker. Vault Breaker, I think, is super good. It's not quite like the Punch First of this set. But also I'm looking at this and I'm like, this should be playable. But Vault Breaker is an action speed, 1 mana, recycle 1, give a unit assault 2, and ganking this turn. And like I talked about with ganking before, like ganking is a pretty insane effect, and constructed, I feel like in sealed, it's even more insane because your opponent's just not always going to have the answers to deal with that, and backing off is frequently not an option in terms of point tempo. Yeah. Fresh Beans. Fresh Beans, man. Okay, so Fresh Bean is a 2 energy gear. When you play a unit during a showdown, you may exhaust this to draw 1. I'm going to say this is bad. I feel like play if necessary doesn't make sense. Maybe I'm going to have to rework this tiering system. Like, maybe I need to add a good with synergy, but I don't even think this card is good with synergy. Like, realistically, you're not getting the synergy to make this good. Like, you'd rather just draw a card than pay 2 mana and then jump through hoops to then be card even. Like, the way you have to think about this is to get real value out of this, you have to draw off of it twice. And I just feel like it's not. It's too slow. It's not guaranteed enough. But, I mean, saying that, the next card is Lord Broadmane. And Lord Broadmane is a 5 energy recycle red for 5 might. It has ambush. And then when you play me, give your other units here assault this turn. And I think that's good. I think just in general, ambush is good and limited. I mean, it's kind of like gear in that you are paying mana for what you could compare to a combat trick, except it leaves stats on the board afterwards. And I think that can't be ignored at all. And the fact that you can play them defensively is also really nice, just like gear or a regular combat trick. But yeah, this card is good. You're going to see I'm pretty high on ambush in the context of sealed. And constructed too, but Vex makes it hard. Anyways, that's a tangent. Next card we have is Lotus Trap. Lotus Trap says it's a 2 energy that says choose a unit, double all damage that would be dealt to it this turn. It's a reaction speed. You can play it for hidden. This card's bad. You can't be trying to set up damage combos. In my opinion, like this just makes no sense. You're not going to be running into stuff that's big enough. Like, I Lotus Trap and Smite, and it's like, well, now you've spent 2 cards to deal 2 cards, 4 energy, 1 recycle red to deal 6 damage to one thing. Like, you've effectively 2 for 1 yourself. Like, I just don't see how that's playable. That seems so bad to me that you have to 2 for 1 yourself. There's nothing like high enough value for the most part that this is ever going to work out and you're going to feel good about it. Next card, 1 in recycle a red. Action, spell, Monster Harpoon. Deal 2 to a unit at a battlefield. If you control a face down card, deal 4 to it instead. Um, Again, like face down synergy is just like, eh. And but you know it still is counter tempo. But you're not Kaisa. Like there's a reason no one plays Hextech Ray. You know, and it's the same thing when I look at Smite, where I'm like, and maybe I'm gonna put Smite way lower actually, because when I think about removal, I think about it in the context of like Falling Star, and pretty much that's the only removal you see played like that is this style of like low energy but recycle rune. Like you do not want to be paying 1 and a red to kill a 2-drop on, you know, turn 2 or whatever. You have to leave mana up to do that for it to have value, and then you're down a rune like essentially the whole game, which is just that's just too much. Rite of Conquest, this card seems bad. It's a 3 energy recycle 1. It says draw 1, then draw 1 for each battlefield you or your allies control. I mean, maybe it's not bad. Like, it's card advantage, you know, that's nice. But there are just better ways to draw cards. Um, I'm going to put it here. The only reason the Harpoon is not in this card as bad is because um, on the off chance you have a bunch of hidden cards, like, okay, 1 in recycle 1 to deal 4 damage is pretty good. But it is like really on the edge. It just doesn't feel like damage based removals in a good place in the game currently, outside of like obviously overtuned cards like Falling Star, uh, or unless you're playing a deck like Kaisa. But yeah, the combat tricks are too readily available. You know, discipline is 2 energy, recycle nothing, gain 2, draw a card. And that's the kind of thing you have to compete against, not in sealed, but just that's how I think you should be thinking about things. Then you have Scorchclaw. It's a 3 energy, recycle red 3 might unit. It has Hunt 2, and if you're at level 3, I have +1 and enter ready. And you know, I'm gonna put that in a play if necessary. And I really might need to make a new tier that's like, hey, synergy based. This is a synergy card. Cause like, yeah, sure. If you're playing like orange and green and you have access to a bunch of, you know, XP generation stuff, and you can, but I mean, even in the world where you have 3 XP on turn 2, like, do you want to play a 3 energy recycle 1 to have a 4 mana accelerate? I guess it's pretty good. It's like a 2 mana card with accelerate 1 and 1, except it's not optional, and it gets you more XP. Like, I will put this in playable simply off the fact that in the right synergy deck, like maybe it's like a workhorse, you know, like, but like you have your 2-drop down already, and then you play this, and I don't know how you'd get to 3 XP, but let's say you got there, and yeah, you know, you just double conquer. Like that's good. I'm gonna put it in playable, but with the caveat that it's only playable if you have synergy for it. So if you know, if you're looking at this and you're like, why the hell is Scorchclaw there? That's why. Square up, 4 energy, repeat discard 1, which is interesting. Give a unit assault 4 this turn. So that means you can pay 4 and discard a card to give something assault 8, and I'm gonna put that in playable. Uh, I don't know. Discarding a card willingly feels kind of weird. Aggro in this game is very different from other card games because you can only score 2 points a turn, so you really can't, you know, just like dump your hand and be like, okay, I'll run him down as quickly as possible. Like, they're gonna have 5 or 6 turns no matter how well this game goes to contest the board, and dumping resources, you know, I'm gonna put this in playable, but you know, as you can tell, I'm a little bit iffy on it just as a concept. I just don't like the idea of discarding cards for a one-time bonus. Next card is Yeti Brawler. When I conquer, if you assign 3 or more excess damage, play 2 gold gear tokens exhausted. They have reaction, kill this. Why am I saying what gold gear does? I'm just autopiloting. Yeah, so when I conquer, if you sign 3 or more excess damage, play 2 gear gold exhausted. And this is going to go and playable. I mean, it's just a big body. It makes gold. It's playable. I don't think there's much to say about it. I mean, it's a. I'm actually going to put it at the top of play if necessary. It's a 6 energy, 6 might. Like, it's whatever. Next card is interesting. It's Blighted Battle Axe. But yeah, it's a 4 energy equipment. You equip it for 1 and a red. And at the end of your turn, if I didn't conquer this turn, unattach this and deal 4 to me. I'm gonna say this card is bad. Mainly because the equip costs you mana on top of the downside of, you can't really equip it to a low might unit unless, you want to die. And it's 4 mana. Like, it's not like, it's not like you're getting, it's effectively 5 mana recycle 1. Yeah, I don't think that's good and sealed. I'm not sure it's good and constructed either. I mean, it just is super suspicious. When, like, I just, why am I playing this over, other gear is the question I have. And limited, obviously, you don't have other gear, but yeah, this card is just too expensive for what it does, in my opinion. Yeah, the next card is funny, right? Like, I saw this card at first and I misread it and I was like, wow, this seems okay. But this card is kind of bad. It's 2 mana, recycle red. It's Dancing Grenade. Deal 2 to a unit. Its controller may play the spell again for 1 power. If they do, this deals 1 additional bonus damage for each time the spell has dealt damage this turn. Now, what you can do with this in theory is you can, like, target your own unit, recycle 1, target another unit, recycle 1, then, like, send it at your opponent. Now you've paid 2 energy and you've recycled 4 to deal 2 damage to one of your units, 3 damage to another, and 4 to your opponent. And they also have the option of recycling 1 and sending it back to you. This card is bad. I hate to say it. This card is just, you cannot be giving your opponents that kind of agency. 2 mana recycle 1. Like, we already looked at the Harpoon. That's 1 mana recycle 1 and deal 2. This is just expensive. It's kind of risky. It's not worth it. Grim Apothecary. It's a. I think this card, again, I'm sorry, I'm high on Ambush. This card is just good. It's a 3 energy, 3 might unit. Ambush. When you play me, you may return a friendly unit at a battlefield to its owner's hand. This is really interesting. You can dodge all kinds of removal with this. It's a bounce. It's reaction speed. So your opponent can use some kind of removal spell on your stuff, and you can say, I'm going to react to that. I'm going to play this where it was already, and I'm just going to bounce that back, and you just wasted that card and those resources. That card's just good. It's just a good card. It saves you stuff. It beats your opponent on value. Just a good card. Actually, this card is so good that if you're playing red and this is in your pool, like, I think this might be our first must-play card. I mean, I don't know. It's close. It's close. I'll leave it here because we're about to get to a pretty much a must-play card, which is the Red Djinn. The Red Djinn, it's 4 mana, recycle 1 for 4 might. It has deflect, it has ganking, and then when it moves, you add 1 floating energy and power. This card is a horse. I mean, obviously, you have to recycle to play it. You'd always rather have, like, a turn 2 play where you don't recycle, but this kind of pays for itself over time. Ganking's insane. Deflect's great. The floating, yeah, this is just a strong card. And yeah, I think if you're playing red and this is in your pool, well, there's no reason not to play this card. Then you have Katarina. When you hide a card, it's a 5 energy, recycle a red, 5 might. When you hide a card, ready me, and when you play a card from face down, deal 2 to an enemy unit. I'm gonna put this in play if necessary. I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm high on ambush. I'm really low on hidden card synergy, and maybe there's something I'm missing. But yeah, just five. Like, I mean, Reddings itself is cool. The deal 2 is whatever. Like that, I don't know how much that's gonna ever do anything. The readying is the more relevant part, but you have to control a battlefield to hide a card. You guys got, and you can only do it once, and then you have to play it again. So I'm just, maybe once a turn you're gonna be able to hide a card, which is you have to recycle, right? Like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's gonna happen very often. I'm putting this in play if necessary. Like if for some reason your pool's like forcing you to go hidden card synergy, but yeah, it just doesn't seem great. Then we have Rengar. This is another must play card. This is a 4 mana recycle a red for 4 might. It's got accelerate once again. It's got assault 2. It's got deflect. It's got ganking. Like it has everything you want on a card. Again, it would be really amazing if you didn't have that initial recycle cost. But yeah. Yeah, it's a good card, but it's not like super OP, but it's definitely good. Undying Legion. This card is kind of interesting. I would say this card is good. I don't know. Looking at it from like a Magic context, like this card, it seems pretty good. It's recursion. You can play it over and over. By the way, I realize I didn't read this one, but my tier list is off balance. Off balance. It's off center. Whoops. I keep scrolling down on accident. I'm sorry. But Undying Legion is a 3 energy, 3 might unit that says you may play me from your trash for 3 and a red with Legion. So if you've played a card, yeah, you can play me for this cost. It's kind of, I don't know. I think it's fine. I think maybe good card is too generous, but I mean, that's a lot of value over time. It's just important to remember that in Riftbound because of the way damage works, like adding 3 over and over is not necessarily that useful. Then you have Xerath. It's a 5 energy, 5 might with the effect of recycle red and tap him to deal 3 to a unit. And you can only use this if I'm at a battlefield. And for that alone, this card is borderline bad. I don't know. This card is borderline bad in my opinion. I don't know how realistically you're going to be able to set up like good hold strategies where you can park a Xerath there and just keep pinging stuff for 3. Your opponent's just going to like not play 3 might or less stuff unless they have to. Yeah, I don't know. Then you have Inviolus Vox. And this card is kind of hard for me to evaluate. It's just a good big body, which you can always use. And then the follow-up of when I conquer, give a friendly unit. So this is an 8 energy recycle 2 red for 8 might. It's a dragon. And when I conquer, give a friendly unit +8 this turn. And yeah, I mean, it's like a white flame kind of, it's sort of, give a friendly unit +8 this turn is potentially insane. I'm going to put it in good card. Probably this card needs to move up. It's a good card. I mean, it's a finisher. It's big. It's hard to deal with. Can't complain. Then you have Pike, the red Pike. So you may so it's a 3 energy 2 might card. It has ganking and it says you may pay a red power as an additional cost. Play me when you play me if you paid the cost. Ready me and give me +2 this turn. So he kind of has like cheaper accelerate, but he's undercosted when he doesn't have accelerate. He also has hidden. I'm going to say this is good, like, because it's just a well-statted accelerate card with ganking. Um, it's a pretty good card. You would definitely not complain seeing it in your pool. Um, the next card we have here is Red Brambleback, red buff. It's 4 energy, recycle red for 4 might. Accelerate. Your conquer effects for conquering here trigger an additional time when I conquer buff a friendly unit. So you're going to do that twice because of his passive. So basically he says when I conquer buff a friendly unit. So you do it twice. It has accelerate, so it's a 5 energy recycle 2 for a 4 might accelerate. I'm going to put this in playable. I don't think that card is good. It's just understated. I mean, anything with accelerate has some potential, but getting to buff 2 units as a payoff, that's probably the only time your conquer effect's going to trigger twice, realistically. Like, you know, maybe this card is better if you have a bunch of conquer effects, but I kind of doubt it. Then you have Vi, which is an interesting card. It's 4 energy, 3 might, and this is the last card in red, guys. But it's 4 energy for 3 might. It has deflect, and then it has this effective pay 2 and a red, double my might this turn. Is this card good? It's not bad, but it's understated. You can only double her might on your own turn because it's not action and reaction speed. So there's no way to like sit there and play games with your opponent. If you can synergize it with some other buffs, which we've seen, I think the only buff that we saw, obviously in Violus Rex, I guess is a buff. There's the tap and give something 3. Like, there are ways for this to synergize, but I don't think it's good. I mean, maybe it is good. Maybe it is. I mean, so what is this? It's you get to pay 4 and 2 red to make it a 12 might. I mean, okay, actually I take it back. This card is good. It can break through anything. You obviously have to be careful about stuff, but this card, you can invest 4 and 2 red the turn it's readied to just like take down most battlefields, and I think that in itself is valuable. This card is good. I think it's probably, this feels about right for it. So yeah, this is my red ranking. There's 2 like really good cards, which are champion units, the Jin and the Rengar. The good cards, you have Vault Breaker. It's just a really good combat trick. You have that 3 mana bounce guy. You have your finisher. You have Pike. You have your 2 drop ambush, which is good. Your 5 drop ambush and Vi. You got some decent playables here, though. Honestly, none of these are great. You know, again, these cards change with synergy. Like, you know, you might want to play the card. What's it called? I need to find a better way to do this so I can actually square up the 4 energy discard card repeat assault 2. I mean, you can make your Vi like way too big. I don't know. You probably would just want to use her thing instead. Nah, square up's not good. I think if you're really, I'm gonna put this in play if necessary. But yeah, I mean, red's looking all right. It has some good cards. Whatever pool you end up doing is probably gonna be like splash red. Looking at it, you're gonna want to play some of these stronger like ambush cards, but the core of the color is not, you know, super busted or anything. I'm not sure any are really in this set, but I guess we'll see. Yeah. Should I keep going, or should I make a separate video? This is a tough question. I guess we'll make separate videos because this is already really long. But yeah, so I'll be doing green next, as you can tell. See ya.